Today, we're jumping into a really fascinating chapter, Leviticus 24. And what's so cool about it is how it starts out with these very calm, quiet rituals, but then boom, the whole thing pivots to a dramatic crime, a case with absolutely no precedent that ends up establishing a foundational law for an entire nation. It's quite a ride.
Okay, so let's set the scene. To really get what happens later, you have to understand the world this is all taking place in. We're in the tabernacle, which is the very center of their world, a place of immense order, of sacred ritual and holiness.
So this first part of the chapter, it carefully lays out two very specific rituals. Now, these aren't just one-time events. The whole point is that they are perpetual, meant to be carried on forever, maintaining this constant sacred connection.
So first up, you've got these really detailed instructions for the continual lamp. They're commanded to use only pure olive oil, and this lamp had to burn from evening all the way until morning. It was this constant visible symbol of God's presence and holiness.
And then there's the second ritual, the weekly offering of what's called showbread. Every single Sabbath, 12 special loaves of bread, one for each of the 12 tribes of Israel, were placed on a table as this constant tribute, a memorial offering.
So you get the picture, right? The whole atmosphere here is one of divine order. It's all about sacred routines, precision, and these instructions that were designed to last forever. It's this picture of perfect harmony and stability.
And just when you're settled into that rhythm, the tone just shifts on a dime. The serene, predictable world of ritual is completely shattered by a sudden, chaotic, and very, very human conflict.
Yeah, this is where everything changes. A fight breaks out right in the middle of the camp. And it presents a problem that, well, no one has ever had to deal with before.
Now, the text is really specific about who's involved. The man who's accused is the son of an Israelite woman, right? But his father was an Egyptian. And this little detail about his mixed heritage, it's going to become a really key element of the story.
So, right in the middle of this argument, one of them does something absolutely shocking and totally unheard of. He doesn't just curse the other guy, he blasphemes the sacred name of the Lord. He actually uses God's name in a curse. And this, well, it creates an immediate crisis. I mean, everyone knows this is a terrible crime, but there's no existing law for it. It's a complete legal gray area. Nobody has any idea what the proper punishment should be. What do you do?
But look at how they respond. This is so crucial. They don't act on emotion. They don't take matters into their own hands. Instead, they bring the man to Moses, they place him in custody, and they wait to seek a divine ruling on what to do.
And the ruling that comes down, wow, it isn't just a sentence for this one man. It becomes an entire legal framework for the whole nation, establishing this new and pretty profound principle of justice.
First, the judgment on the specific crime is delivered. The punishment for blasphemy is death, and it's to be carried out by the entire community. It's a really severe sentence, for sure, which reflects just how serious this crime was in their eyes.
But here's where it gets even more interesting. This one incident becomes the catalyst for something so much bigger. This specific case is now used to establish a much broader principle of justice that applies to all kinds of different offenses.
And this is where we get one of history's most famous and, let's be honest, often misunderstood legal codes. You know it. Life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth. The idea is that the punishment has to be equivalent to the crime.
This principle was known as lex talionis, or the law of retaliation, and for its time, this was a radical idea. You see, it wasn't about encouraging revenge, it was actually about limiting it. It was designed to stop those endless, escalating blood feuds by setting a clear, proportional limit on justice.
And that leads us to the final, and maybe the most revolutionary principle that gets established here. This is the ultimate takeaway from this whole chaotic event.
And here it is. This is the climax. Remember how the man who cursed had an Egyptian father? Well, the law makes it crystal clear. It doesn't matter. There is one law for everyone, whether you are a native citizen or a foreigner living among them. Justice has to be applied equally to all.
So that brings us full circle. I mean, think about it. What started with one man's uncontrolled outburst in a moment of anger ends with a foundational legal principle for an entire society, proportional justice applied universally.
So, from sacred ritual to the rule of law, this ancient text leaves us with these incredibly powerful ideas,
punishment that fits the crime, and equal justice for all. And these are concepts that, still echo in our legal systems and our moral debates to this very day.